The sky over the planet Vera 9 was a dark swirl of red and violet clouds. Lightning danced in jagged lines, and thunder rolled across jagged mountains. The planet was unwelcoming, even to the hardiest explorers. Most ships would have avoided it, but Captain Mark Reynolds didn't turn away from danger. Mark was a human explorer, known across several star systems for his courage and skill. He had faced dying stars, alien predators, and treacherous space storms. But nothing prepared him for the distress call that appeared on his ship's screen that morning. The signal was weak, barely a whisper across the void, but the message was clear. Someone was in trouble. The call came from a location deep inside, the dangerous terrain of Vera 9. Whoever was sending it was intelligent and desperate. Mark studied the readings carefully. The signal's source was a moving target. It was not stationary like a crashed ship. Something or someone was fleeing across the rocky plains below. He narrowed his eyes. "This isn't ordinary distress," he muttered to his co-pilot, Jara. She was an alien engineer from a neighboring system. Her species could read electromagnetic pulses directly, which made her excellent at finding hidden signals. "I agree," Jara replied, her three eyes scanning the readouts. "It's intelligent and fast. Whoever this is, they're running from something deadly." Mark nodded. "Then we'll find them. Suit up. We land in 20. The ship's engines roared as it descended through the turbulent atmosphere. Below, jagged mountains cut into the clouds like black teeth. Storms flashed around them, but Mark kept his hands steady on the controls. Every pilot in the galaxy knew Vera 9 was unforgiving. One wrong move, and the ship would crash. The source of the signal appeared on the scanner, a small figure darting across the plain. Mark squinted. It was humanoid, but not human. Its skin glimmered with a soft blue hue, and it moved with elegant, precise steps. A long silver braid flowed behind it, catching the occasional flash of lightning. "It's an alien," Jara said. Her voice was filled with curiosity and concern. "She's young, maybe a princess. Look at her armor. It's ceremonial. She wasn't expecting to fight." "Then someone took her," Mark said grimly, "and whoever did it is strong enough to chase her across this storm." He activated the ship's vertical thrusters and guided them toward a nearby plateau. The alien girl below paused, her glowing eyes scanning the terrain. She seemed to sense the human ship approaching, and for a moment, hope flickered in her gaze. Then the attackers appeared. 3 large insect-like creatures burst from the rocks, their mandibles clicking and claws digging into the ground. They moved fast, faster than any predator Mark had seen on Vera 9. They were not native to the planet. Someone had brought them here to hunt. Mark didn't hesitate. "Jara, open the side hatch. I'm going down." "What?" she exclaimed. "The storm! Those creatures, this planet." "Trust me," he said with a grin. "It's what I do." He leaped from the ship, his suit's jetpack activating instantly. The wind nearly knocked him sideways, but he corrected his course. Lightning illuminated the plain, revealing the alien girl running desperately. She stumbled over a rock, and Mark's heart jumped. "Hang on," he whispered. He landed near her, jetpack thrusters hissing. The creatures screeched as they noticed him, turning their attention to this new threat. Mark pulled out his energy blaster, careful to aim at the ground near their feet. Sparks flew as the beams struck, startling the creatures. "Run!" he shouted to the alien girl. She hesitated, fear and confusion on her face, but the human's confidence inspired her. Together they sprinted across the rocky plain. Mark led, firing at the predators whenever they got too close. The creatures were relentless, but Mark's aim and quick thinking kept them at bay. "You're fast for a human," she said breathlessly as they ducked behind a jagged rock formation. "And you're brave for a princess," he replied with a grin. "Not many would survive this long on their own." The storm grew worse, wind howling, lightning striking, dangerously close. Mark scanned the horizon. The plateau was their only chance. It offered cover, and from there he could call in his ship for extraction. "Can you climb?" he asked. The alien girl nodded. Her hands glowed faintly as she used a small device strapped to her wrist. Energy cables shot out, attaching to the cliff face, pulling her upward with surprising speed. Mark followed, using his strength and jetpack to aid him. The creatures skidded below, frustrated, unable to follow. At the top of the plateau, they finally stopped to catch their breath. The alien girl looked at Mark with wide eyes. You saved me," she whispered. Mark shrugged, wiping sweat from his brow. "That's what I do. No one gets left behind." She smiled faintly. "Thank you. My name is Lyra." "I'm Mark," he said. "And we need to get you off this planet before more of those things show up." Using his communicator, he called the ship. "Jara, pick us up at the northern ridge. We're coming in hot." The ship descended through the storm, landing carefully on the rocky ground. Lyra hesitated for a moment, glancing at Mark. Then she ran forward, and he caught her just as the ship's ramp extended. Inside the ship, she finally relaxed, collapsing into a seat. Mark sat across from her, scanning the monitors. The storm outside was relentless, but they were safe, for now. "Mom," Lyra whispered suddenly, almost in disbelief. She'll be so happy." Mark raised an eyebrow. "Mom." "My mother," Lyra explained. "She is the queen of our people. She will be grateful you saved me. She will want to meet you." Mark leaned back, feeling the weight of her words. Humans had met alien royalty before, but never under these circumstances. He realized this wasn't just a simple rescue. This could change the relationship between humans and Lyra's entire species. "Guess I'm meeting a queen then," he said with a small grin. Lyra's eyes sparkled, a mixture of excitement and nervousness. "Yes, and not just any queen. The strongest and wisest in our galaxy," Mark chuckled softly. "Sounds like my kind of meeting." The ship's engines hummed as they left Vera 9 behind. Lyra stayed quiet, gazing out the window at the fading storm. Mark watched her, impressed by her calm courage despite everything. She was more than a princess. She was a survivor. Jara entered the cabin, her eyes wide as she saw Lyra. "She's alive. You actually saved her?" Mark nodded. "Not alone. She helped herself too, but we made it." Lyra turned to him, her voice quiet but firm. "I owe you my life. My people will know your name. My mother will know your name. You are a hero." Mark smiled but shook his head. "I'm just a human. I do what humans do best. We survive. We fight. We help when we can." Lyra tilted her head, studying him. "Humans are different from what my people expected. You are brave, clever, and kind. My mother will see that. She must see that." The human felt a small thrill of pride. In his travels, he had faced many dangers, but saving a life, especially that of an alien princess, was something else entirely. He realized that his actions here could have consequences far beyond this one planet. As the ship sped through space, Lyra finally relaxed into her seat. Mark glanced at her, smiling softly. "Rest now. You've earned it." She nodded, her glowing blue skin reflecting the soft lights of the ship. "I will never forget this, human. You saved me when no one else could." Mark looked ahead, thinking about what lay ahead. Returning her to her mother would be only the first step. There were political challenges, cultural differences, and dangers he could not yet imagine. But for now, he had accomplished what mattered most. He had saved a life, and that life had just whispered words that would change everything. "Mom, he rescued me!" The words echoed in Mark's mind. He didn't yet know what meeting a queen would be like, but he was ready. If humans were known for anything in the galaxy, it was courage. And he had plenty of that. The stars stretched out. Before them, endless and mysterious. Mark felt the familiar thrill of adventure. The journey had only just begun. The human ship soared through the glittering void of space, carrying Lyra and Mark toward her homeworld, Solara Prime. From orbit, the planet was breathtaking. Cities floated above crystal blue oceans, connected by glowing bridges of energy. Mountains spiraled into the clouds, and towers of silver and gold reflected the light of the distant sun. Mark pressed his face to the viewport, awe settling in his chest. "Yara, I've seen a lot of worlds, but nothing like this," he said. Jara, leaning against the console, nodded. Solara Prime is one of the oldest civilizations in this sector. Their technology is centuries ahead of ours, but it is built on art, culture, and wisdom, not just machines. Lyra, sitting quietly, watched the planet with a mixture of relief and nervous excitement. "Home," she whispered. "At last, I am returning home." Mark glanced at her. "You okay?" Lyra nodded, though her shoulders were tense. "The Queen, my mother. She will want to see me immediately. And she will want to know everything about you. Everything." Mark's eyebrows rose. "Everything?" "Yes," Lyra said firmly. "You saved me from the rogues, from certain death. My mother will demand to know who you are, how you did it, and why. Humans are unusual to her. She will be curious and cautious." Mark chuckled softly. "I can handle curiosity. Caution, maybe not so much." The ship descended through Solara Prime's atmosphere. Energy fields shimmered around the floating cities, keeping them safe from meteor storms and atmospheric disturbances. Mark guided the ship toward the royal landing docks, where massive ships with crystalline hulls hovered, waiting for permission to land. "Permission granted," a smooth, melodic voice said over the comm. Lyra stiffened, then gave a small bow toward the console. "We must show respect," she murmured. Mark followed suit, bowing slightly, though awkwardly. "Yes, ma'am," he said, smiling. The ship touched down gracefully, magnetic locks anchoring it to the landing pad. Guards in sleek silver armor approached. Their eyes glowed faintly, scanning Mark and Jara carefully. "State your names and purpose," the lead guard said in a voice that carried authority without anger. "I am Captain Mark Reynolds," Mark said calmly. "This is Jara, my co-pilot. We come with Princess Lyra. She was in danger and I rescued her." The guards exchanged glances. One of them, taller than the others and wearing a cloak of deep blue, stepped forward. "I am Commander Thalor," he said, eyes narrowing at Mark. "You claim to have rescued our princess. You will come with us for verification." Mark nodded. "Of course." Lyra stepped beside him, her hand brushing lightly against his arm. "She trusts you," she said softly. "My mother will want the same." The guards escorted them through the city. The streets shimmered with light, and alien citizens paused to watch. Some whispered, pointing at Mark. Some stared openly, their eyes wide with curiosity. A human had entered their capital. Rare, almost unheard of. Finally, they arrived at the palace, a massive structure of gold and crystal that floated slightly above the ground. Energy bridges connected it to the city below, and waterfalls of pure light cascaded around its sides. Lyra's eyes glimmered. "My mother," she whispered. Mark could see why. The palace radiated power and elegance. He felt a small thrill of respect and nervousness. Meeting royalty was one thing. Meeting a queen of an alien civilization was another entirely. Inside, the halls were vast and filled with beings of many shapes and sizes. Lyra guided Mark and Jara to a central chamber where the queen would receive them. The air hummed with energy, a subtle vibration that made Mark's chest tingle. And then he saw her. Queen Solara sat upon a throne that seemed to float above the floor. Her skin was a pale gold, her eyes deep pools of sapphire. Her presence was commanding, yet calm. Every movement was deliberate, every gesture measured. She was both beautiful and formidable, radiating authority that made the room feel smaller. Around her, Lyra stepped forward and knelt. "Mother, I have returned safely, thanks to him." She gestured toward Mark. "This human saved me." Queen Solara's gaze shifted to Mark. Her eyes studied him like a hawk circling its prey. "You are the one who ventured into danger and brought my daughter home," she said, voice melodic but firm. "You are unusual." Mark straightened. "Yes, ma'am. I did what anyone would do. I couldn't leave her behind." The queen raised an elegant hand, and Lyra rose beside her. "You are brave," she said. "But bravery alone is not enough. You are in our world now, a world far different from your own. Tell me, why did you risk your life for my daughter?" Mark met her gaze, steady and honest. "Because a life is a life. She needed help, and I could give it. Humans don't always think of danger as a reason to stop helping. We survive, yes, but we also protect. That is what we do best." Solara's expression softened slightly, a hint of a smile touching her lips. "Humans speak boldly," she said. "Yet your actions confirm your words. You risked death, storms, and predators for her. You are unlike any human we have encountered." Lyra's eyes sparkled with pride. "Mother, he is more than you imagine. Humans are clever, resourceful, and strong. They may appear ordinary, but they surprise you when it matters most." Mark felt a small thrill. The queen's approval, even a hint of it, was a powerful thing. "I am honored," he said simply. The queen rose, her figure commanding. She walked toward him, her gaze never leaving his. "You will stay in the palace as our guest. You will be treated with respect, but you will also be observed. We must understand the human who dares to save." "A princess of Solera Prime." Mark nodded, understanding. "I will comply. I have nothing to hide." Solara paused and looked at Lyra. "And you, my daughter? You trust him?" Lyra smiled softly. "I do, mother. I would not be alive without him." The queen's gaze returned to Mark. "Then we begin tomorrow. There are matters to discuss. Our people will want to know more about the human who dared to act when others did not. And you will be tested." Mark raised an eyebrow. "Tested?" "You will see," Solara said, turning gracefully. "For now, rest. You have journeyed far and faced storms that would have killed lesser beings. Tomorrow, your true journey begins." That night, Mark slept in a guest chamber of crystal walls that shimmered softly with ambient light. Lyra had stayed nearby, quietly settling into her own room. Though safe for the first time in days, Mark's mind buzzed with questions. Who were these rogues that had captured Lyra? Why had they targeted her? What did the queen truly think of humans? And most importantly, what would this test tomorrow involve? Jara, who had been studying the palace's technology, entered the room quietly. "You know," she said, "humans are rare here. Many Solarians have only read about your kind. You saved a princess, and now you are here. They will not forget this. And if you survive the queen's test, humans may gain respect beyond what anyone imagines." Mark smiled faintly. "Respect is good, but I'm here for one reason: keeping her safe. The rest, we'll see." Meanwhile, Lyra sat by her window, staring at the stars. She thought of Mark's courage, his calm confidence in the storm, and the way he had saved her without hesitation. A small smile curved her lips. "Mother will be pleased," she whispered. "He is remarkable." Outside, the city of Solara Prime gleamed under the twin moons, a world of beauty, power, and wisdom. Inside the palace, a human sat quietly, unaware of how much his actions would ripple through the galaxy. The journey had only begun. Tomorrow, he would meet the true test of courage, not against predators, storms, or rogues, but against the expectations, traditions, and intelligence of an alien civilization. Mark closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. Humans had survived against impossible odds before. Now, on Solara Prime, he would do it again. And somewhere in the palace, Queen Solara's gaze lingered on the human who had dared to save her daughter. She did not yet know if he could survive her challenges, but she knew this: humans were not to be underestimated. The morning sun of Solara Prime bathed the palace in soft golden light. Towering crystal spires reflected the glow, making the city below sparkle like a sea of stars. Inside the palace, Mark Reynolds prepared for a day unlike any he had faced before. He did not yet know the full extent of the Queen's expectations, but he felt certain it would be more than physical tests. Lyra arrived at the training hall, her silver hair flowing behind her. She smiled warmly at Mark. "Mother wants to see your mind, your courage, and your loyalty," she explained. "These tests are not meant to harm, but to reveal who you truly are." Mark rubbed his jaw. Mind, courage, loyalty, sounds like a standard human evaluation. Except in this case, it's alien. Lyra laughed softly. "More alien than you imagine. Humans are clever, but my mother's tests go beyond cleverness. They test judgment, empathy, and understanding. You may find yourself in situations you did not expect." The training hall was vast, a dome of translucent crystal that let in sunlight from above. The floor shimmered faintly, and walls were lined with holographic displays. At the center stood Queen Solara, her posture regal, her expression calm but piercing. "Captain Reynolds," she said, her voice echoing across the hall. "Today you will face challenges that measure not only your strength, but your character. You will make choices, solve problems, and demonstrate your understanding of alien ways. Are you prepared?" Mark stepped forward, shoulders squared. "I'm ready. I do what I must to protect those in need." Solara's eyes narrowed slightly, studying him. "Good. Then your first trial begins." She raised her hand, and the room transformed. Holographic landscapes shifted, creating scenes of danger and complexity. Mark found himself in a simulated alien jungle. Towering plants with glowing leaves surrounded him. Strange creatures moved in the shadows. At the edge of a cliff, a holographic figure of Lyra appeared, trapped by vines of energy. "You must rescue her!" Solara's voice echoed. "But every step has consequences. Some creatures may be dangerous, some harmless. Choose wisely." Mark's pulse quickened. This was a test of observation, strategy, and decision-making. He took a deep breath and moved carefully. The creatures were fast, but their patterns were predictable. He studied them, noting their movements, and used the environment to avoid confrontation rather than relying solely on his weapons. The vines trapping Lyra pulsed with energy. Mark examined them and found a pattern in the pulses. Using a small device on his wrist, he synchronized it with the energy flow, carefully loosening the bonds without causing harm. Lyra's hologram smiled faintly as the vines fell away. "You are cautious and clever," she whispered. Mark felt a surge of pride, but the test was far from over. As he moved to exit the simulation, another challenge appeared. A holographic creature, massive and menacing, blocked the path. Its eyes glowed, and its claws scraped the ground. Mark assessed the situation quickly. The creature was aggressive, but the environment offered opportunities. Using his knowledge of physics and human ingenuity, he lured the creature into a trap created by a combination of energy pulses and reflective surfaces. The creature was neutralized without harm, proving that humans could solve problems in creative ways. The simulation dissolved, and Mark found himself back in the hall. Solara observed him silently, a faint smile touching her lips. "Impressive," she said. "Your courage is evident, your mind is sharp, but character is measured not only by what you can do, but by how you act under pressure." Lyra stepped closer. "Mother, he listens. He observes. He thinks before he acts. These qualities, they are rare among humans." Solara's gaze returned to Mark. "Your next trial is one of judgment. You will face moral dilemmas that test your loyalty and empathy. You must choose not only for yourself, but for others. Failure is not always fatal, but consequences will reveal much about you." A new simulation appeared, showing a group of alien citizens trapped in a collapsing city sector. Debris and energy barriers blocked escape routes. Several lives were in danger, including children and elderly citizens. The simulation provided multiple solutions, each with risks and benefits. Mark assessed quickly. One route would save the most people but expose him and Lyra to great danger. Another route was safer, but left several vulnerable individuals behind. He hesitated for a fraction of a second, then made his choice. He coordinated an evacuation using both his skills and the knowledge Lyra had shared. He prioritized the most vulnerable first, then used his ingenuity to create safe passages for the rest. The simulation ended, and Solara's eyes gleamed with approval. "You demonstrate empathy," she said. "You do not act recklessly, nor do you abandon those in need. Your choices reflect a human quality, one that may serve our people well." Mark felt a surge of confidence. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I only do what is right." Solara's expression became serious. "The final trial is not of body or mind, but of diplomacy. You will face alien advisors, each questioning your motives, your abilities, and your worth. You must demonstrate understanding, patience, and tact. Fail here, and you may endanger your position and our trust in humans." Mark took a deep breath. Lyra gave him a reassuring nod. "You can do this. Speak truth, show respect, and remember your courage." The chamber shifted again, this time into a grand council hall. Holographic advisors appeared, representing different factions of Solara Prime. Some were tall and elegant, others short and stocky, each with unique abilities and perspectives. One advisor, tall and angular, stepped forward. "Human, you claim to have saved our princess. What proof do you offer that your intentions are honorable?" Mark met the advisor's gaze. "I have no hidden motives. I acted to save a life. My intentions are clear, and my actions speak for themselves. I am a human. We value life and courage above self-interest." Another advisor, with eyes like molten gold, frowned. "And why should we trust a species so foreign to us? Humans are unpredictable. They are untested in the ways of our society." Mark remained calm. "Trust is earned, not given. I understand your caution, but I ask only that you judge me by what I have done, not by fear or prejudice. I have faced danger to save your princess, and I will face more if needed to ensure her safety," the advisors whispered among themselves. Lyra watched, her eyes filled with pride. "He speaks with honesty and wisdom," she said softly. "He is extraordinary." Solara observed silently, noting every detail. "Your answers are satisfactory," she said finally. "But diplomacy requires more than words. It requires listening, understanding, and adapting. You will now participate in a council debate. Show your ability to comprehend our ways and offer solutions." A scenario appeared. A dispute over resource allocation between two alien regions, each claiming essential energy sources. Mark listened carefully, asking questions, and proposing a compromise that respected both sides' needs while maintaining fairness. His human perspective offered fresh insight that none of the advisors had considered. Solara's eyes softened. "You see the whole picture," she said. "You understand consequences, not only for yourself, but for all involved. This is a rare human quality. You may have more to teach us than we thought." After hours of tests, Mark finally stepped back, exhausted but triumphant. Lyra smiled proudly. "You did it," she said. "You passed every trial, human. My mother will see that you are worthy." Solara rose from her throne, her presence commanding yet warm. "Captain Reynolds, you have demonstrated courage, intelligence, empathy, and understanding. You have shown the strength of a human and the character to match. You are remarkable." Mark bowed slightly. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I only did what any human would do to save a life." Solara's gaze softened. "Perhaps. But humans are not always as capable as you have shown. You have earned our respect and our trust. The princess is safe, and our people have seen that. Humans may be allies, not just strangers from distant stars." Lyra stepped forward, taking Mark's hand. "Mother, he saved me. He faced storms, predators, and enemies, and he never wavered. He is the human I trust." Solara's eyes glimmered. "Then it is decided. You will be our honored guest. Your actions have proven your worth. But know this, human. This is only the beginning. Greater challenges may await, and your courage will be tested again." Mark smiled faintly. "I am ready, Your Majesty. Humans survive against impossible odds. We protect, we adapt, and we endure. That is who we are." The Queen nodded, a small smile forming. "Then we shall see how humans and Solarians may shape the future together. You have earned your place here, Captain Reynolds. Remember that." As the sun set over Solara Prime, casting golden light across the floating city, Mark felt a sense of pride and anticipation. He had faced tests that challenged mind, body, and heart, and passed, but he knew this was only the beginning. Beyond the palace, shadows of rogue forces lingered, their plans far from over. The trials had revealed Mark's skill and bravery, but the galaxy was vast, and danger was never far away. Still, Mark was ready. Humans had survived countless dangers before. Now, among the stars and within the halls of alien royalty, he would do it again. And Lyra, watching him with admiration, knew that her life and her people's future were safer because of the human who had dared to step into danger for her sake. The stage was set. Allies had been found, trust had been earned, and the first steps toward a new alliance had begun. The palace of Solara Prime glowed under the twin moons, its spires shimmering like silver in the night. Peace had settled over the city after Mark's trials, but that peace was only a fragile illusion. Somewhere in the darkness beyond the floating city, the rogue faction that had kidnapped Princess Lyra was regrouping. They had survived, and they were planning revenge. Mark stood at a balcony overlooking the city, feeling the gentle breeze. Lyra joined him, her expression serious. "I thought we were safe," she said softly. "But the rogues, they are still out there." Mark nodded. "Danger never really goes away, but we're not alone here. You have the palace, the queen, and your people. And I have human instincts. We'll handle it." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the palace. Red lights pulsed as holographic displays lit up. Commander Thaler's voice echoed through the halls. "Intruders detected! Multiple unauthorized entries near the Eastern Bridge! They are attempting to bypass security fields!" Mark's jaw tightened. "They found a way in!" Jara, we need all defensive systems online. Jara, already at a console, activated the palace's energy shields. Pulsing barriers rose around the city, and defensive drones deployed into the skies. Shields are up, but they won't hold forever, she warned. Lyra's eyes glimmered with determination. We must act quickly. If they reach the palace, the queen and our people will be in danger. Mark took a deep breath. Then we stop them before they get close. He drew a compact energy rifle, its barrel humming with power. Show me where they are. The holographic map displayed moving blips, rogue fighters advancing across the energy bridges toward the palace. Their numbers were small but dangerous, trained and ruthless. Mark activated his suit's tactical visor, scanning the approaching enemies. They are skilled but predictable. They rely on speed and aggression. We'll use that against them. Lyra stepped beside him. I will help guide you. My knowledge of our defenses can give us the advantage. Together, they coordinated a plan. Defensive drones distracted the rogues while energy traps were set along the bridges. Mark positioned, himself at a choke point, ready to take precise shots at the attackers. The first wave came fast, screeching as they leaped across the energy bridges. Mark fired with precision, disabling drones and neutralizing attackers without harming the city. Each shot was calculated, each movement deliberate. Lyra used her energy manipulation skills to create barriers, slowing the rogues' advance. We must work together, she shouted, deflecting a deadly strike. Mark grinned. I like teamwork. He lunged forward, knocking a rogue off balance and sending it sprawling into a containment field. The rogues adapted quickly, using the environment to their advantage. But Mark was faster, thinking ahead, predicting their moves. He guided Lyra, who responded with equal skill, using her knowledge of the palace's layout and energy fields to trap enemies. Mark! Jara's voice came over the comm. Another group is trying to infiltrate the central gates. They're using cloaking devices. Mark's eyes narrowed. Then we reveal them. He activated a special scanner that could detect energy distortions caused by cloaking technology. The hidden rogues shimmered into view. Lyra gasped. You can see them? Incredible! Humans have ways, Mark said with a small smile. Now, let's finish this. They advanced together, moving swiftly across the palace corridors. Every rogue they encountered was either neutralized or captured with minimal risk to citizens. The Queen's guards joined the fight, impressed by Mark's coordination and bravery. Finally, they reached the central courtyard. The rogues had regrouped, forming a final offensive. They were desperate, fighting with everything they had to reclaim Lyra. Mark and Lyra stood side by side. We end this here, Mark said, his voice steady. Lyra nodded, summoning energy shields around them. Together, the rogues charged, but Mark anticipated their movements. Using a combination of agility, quick thinking, and energy weapons, he disrupted their formation. Lyra's shields deflected attacks and trapped several rogues in containment fields. Commander Thalor and the palace guards joined the fray, but it was Mark's strategy and courage that turned the tide. One by one, the rogues were neutralized. They fought fiercely, but human ingenuity and Lyra's knowledge of her homeland proved stronger. At last, the leader of the rogue faction stepped forward, attempting a final strike. Mark met him with calm precision, dodging the attack and disarming him. With a swift move, he trapped the leader in an energy cage. The courtyard fell silent. The rogues had been defeated. The palace was safe. Lyra exhaled, relief flooding her. You did it. You saved us all. Mark lowered his weapon, panting. We did it, together. The Queen arrived, her expression a mix of awe and approval. Captain Reynolds, she said, her voice strong, you have not only passed my tests, but have defended my people when danger came uninvited. Your courage and skill are remarkable. Mark bowed slightly. I did what any human would do. I protect those in need. That is all. Solara's gaze softened as she looked at him. Your humility is rare. You act without desire for reward, without fear of consequence. This is why humans may yet become true allies of Solara Prime. Lyra stepped forward, holding her mother's gaze. Mother, he fought alongside me without hesitation, without fear. He is the human I trust most in the galaxy. Solara studied Mark carefully. Humans are unpredictable, she said thoughtfully, but you have proven that courage, intelligence, and loyalty can bridge any gap between species. Today, you have earned more than respect. You have earned trust. Mark felt a surge of pride, not for himself, but for the idea that humans could be more than explorers. They could be protectors, heroes, and friends to those beyond their own world. Jara came up beside him, smiling. You've just changed their view of humans forever, Mark chuckled softly. I just did what anyone would do. The rest is up to them to see. The Queen raised her hand, signaling for the city's defenses to relax. Energy barriers lowered, and the citizens cautiously emerged from safe zones, witnessing the aftermath of the battle. There was relief, gratitude, and admiration in their eyes. Lyra's face glowed with pride. You have given my people hope, she said, and a reason to believe that humans can be allies, not just strangers from distant stars. Mark looked at her, then at the Queen. We only did what was right. That is enough for me, Solara nodded. It is never just enough, human. It is extraordinary. You have faced enemies that would terrify even the bravest of our warriors, and you have done so with wisdom, restraint, and honor. Solara Prime owes you a debt that cannot easily be repaid. Mark shook his head. No debt, just friendship. The Queen's gaze softened. Then friendship it shall be. But know this, the rogue's defeat is only the beginning. There are forces in this galaxy that will challenge both humans and Solarians alike. You have shown courage and skill today, but the future may demand even more. Mark straightened, feeling a thrill of determination. Then we will be ready. Humans survive against impossible odds. We protect, we adapt, and we endure. That is what we do. Lyra reached for his hand, her grip firm, and together we will face whatever comes. You have earned our trust, and we will stand with you. The night sky of Solara Prime stretched above them, filled with stars and distant planets. The palace had been defended, the rogues defeated, and the bond between human and alien had grown stronger. But Mark knew the battle was only the first test of true interstellar cooperation. Greater challenges lay ahead, waiting in the darkness of space, in politics, and in threats yet unseen. He looked at Lyra, then at the Queen. We will meet them, together. And somewhere beyond the city, the surviving rogue forces retreated into the shadows, their anger and determination burning hotter than ever. But Mark Reynolds, human explorer and unlikely hero, had shown the galaxy one undeniable truth. Humans are not to be underestimated. They endure, they protect, they fight. The morning sun of Solara Prime painted the palace in soft shades of gold and violet. After the battle with the rogue faction, peace had returned, and the citizens of the floating city were slowly resuming their lives. Markets reopened, fields shimmered in their normal patterns, and the glow of crystal towers reflected the calm sky. Mark Reynolds walked through the palace corridors, still amazed at the scale and beauty of the place. Even after everything, he could not believe humans had reached a point where they could interact so closely with one of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. Lyra walked beside him, her silver hair shining in the morning light. Captain Reynolds, she said softly. Today, The Queen will formally honor you. She wishes to recognize your courage and the bond you have created between humans and Solarians. Mark shook his head. I don't need honors. I just did what any human would do. I saved a life. Lyra smiled. Yes, but actions like yours carry meaning across the galaxy. Your courage and integrity have changed how Solara Prime, and perhaps others, view humans. As they entered the Grand Hall, the citizens and officials of Solara Prime were already gathered. The Queen's throne glimmered at the far end, with Commander Thalor and other leaders standing nearby. Lyra took Mark's hand gently, guiding him forward. Queen Solara rose as they approached, her presence commanding silence throughout the hall. She spoke with her calm, melodic voice. Captain Reynolds, today we honor more than courage. Today, we honor integrity, wisdom, and the willingness to act for the sake of life itself. You have not only saved my daughter, but you have also proven that humans possess qualities worthy of friendship and alliance. Mark felt a mix of pride and humility. Your Majesty, I only acted as my people would, without hesitation to protect those in need. That is all. Solara's eyes gleamed. All? No. That is everything. Courage, intelligence, empathy, and honor. You embody the best of humanity, and that is why we welcome you into our halls as a trusted ally. She raised her hand, and two attendants brought forward a ceremonial medal, crafted from crystal and infused with energy. The symbol represented unity and protection. Solara placed it gently around Mark's neck. May this symbol remind all who see it, she said, that humans are capable of extraordinary deeds, and that friendship between our peoples can shape a safer galaxy. Mark bowed slightly. I am honored, Your Majesty. I promise to do my best to maintain this trust. Lyra squeezed his hand. You've already done more than you know. The crowd erupted into applause, and Mark felt the warmth of acceptance radiate around him. He had never imagined that humans could achieve this level of respect in an alien civilization. Yet here he was, not just a visitor, but a recognized hero and trusted ally. After the ceremony, Mark, Lyra, and Jara walked through the palace gardens. The air was fragrant with exotic flowers, and small streams of glowing water flowed gently across paths of crystal. Lyra looked at Mark with gratitude and admiration. You have changed everything, she said. My people see that humans are not just explorers or warriors. We are capable of trust, courage, and loyalty. And it is because of you. Mark smiled faintly. I didn't do it alone. You helped, your people helped, and we faced the danger together. Humans survive, yes, but we thrive when we have allies. Lyra nodded. And that is why I trust you. Completely. The bond you have forged here will last for generations. Jara, always pragmatic, spoke up. Captain, your actions here might have consequences beyond Solara Prime. Other civilizations will notice that humans can be allies, that we are capable of more than they imagined. This could change galactic politics. Mark looked thoughtful. Then let it change for the better. Humans don't seek power for themselves. We seek to protect, to endure, and to help where we can. If other civilizations see that, maybe the galaxy will be safer. Lyra smiled. You are more than brave. You are wise beyond your years. Just then, a messenger arrived with an urgent report. Rogue factions in nearby systems had heard of the defeat at Solara Prime. They were mobilizing, preparing to strike elsewhere. Solara's gaze sharpened. Captain Reynolds, your actions have inspired not only hope, but also envy. These rogues will not give up easily. We must prepare. Mark stood tall. Then we prepare. Humans don't back down from challenges. We face them, we adapt, and we endure. And when we have allies, no threat is too great. The queen studied him closely, a faint smile forming. Indeed, perhaps your presence here will teach others that courage and unity are stronger than fear and aggression. Your people may yet become a force for good in ways none could have imagined. Lyra stepped beside her mother. He has already taught us that, and he will continue to teach, if we let him. Solara nodded. Then we will. Captain Reynolds, you are now an honored guest and trusted advisor. Your insight, your courage, and your integrity will guide us in the days to come. Marky felt a surge of determination. I will do my best. Humans do not fail when lives are at stake. We protect, we endure, and we fight when necessary. That is who we are. The Queen's eyes softened. And that is why we trust you. Know this, Solara Prime is now your home as much as ours, and our alliance will be remembered for generations. Lyra's eyes shone with pride. Thank you for everything, she whispered. You saved my life, and now you have helped shape the future of my people. Mark shook his head. I only did what humans do best. Protect, endure, fight, and now we move forward together. As the sun set, casting a golden glow across Solara Prime, Mark looked out at the horizon. The galaxy was vast, filled with unknown dangers and challenges. But for the first time, he felt that humans were not alone in facing them. Lyra stood beside him, her presence comforting and inspiring. The future is uncertain, she said softly. But with you here, I believe we can face whatever comes. Mark smiled faintly. We will. Humans survive, humans protect, and humans endure. That is our way, and together we can make a difference. Solara appeared behind them, her hand resting briefly on Lyra's shoulder. Captain Reynolds, your deeds have shown us that courage knows no species. You have proven that unity, trust, and honor can create something stronger than any weapon. You are a hero, human, and an example for all. Mark bowed slightly. I'm honored, and I will continue to do my best. The Queen's gaze softened. Then we move forward, together. Humans and Solarians, as allies. Let the galaxy see that cooperation and courage can overcome even the darkest threats. As night fell over the floating city, stars twinkling like distant fires, Mark felt a sense of hope and purpose he had never known. The rogues had been defeated, trust had been earned, and a new alliance had been forged, one that could shape the galaxy for the better. Lyra leaned close to him. You have done more than save me, Mark. You have shown that humans are capable of greatness, and that we can rely on each other across the stars. Mark placed a hand gently on hers, and we will continue to do so. Wherever danger appears, wherever lives are at stake, humans will stand. We endure, we protect, and we fight. Always. The Queen's voice echoed in the grand hall once more. Let this day be remembered. The human who saved a princess, who defended a palace, and who forged an alliance, Captain Mark Reynolds, will be honored in the annals of Solara Prime. May his courage inspire all generations to come. Mark looked at the stars, feeling a quiet pride. He had not sought recognition or power. He had only acted with courage and honor. And now, those actions had ripple effects across the galaxy. Lyra's hand remained in his, a reminder of the life he had saved and the bond he had forged. Together, human and alien, they looked toward the future, a future filled with promise, hope, and the certainty that courage and integrity could shape even the vast expanse of the stars. Mark smiled faintly. The galaxy may be dangerous, but with courage, unity, and trust, we can face anything. Humans endure, humans protect, humans fight, and together, We can change the stars. And so, under the twin moons of Solara Prime, a human hero was honored, a princess was safe, and an alliance that could change the galaxy was born. The story of Mark Reynolds would be remembered for generations, a testament to the courage, integrity, and enduring spirit of humanity. The stars shone brightly above, and the future stretched endlessly before them. The galaxy had seen humans at their best, and it had only just begun.